Hello, everyone. Can you all hear me all right? Let me make sure this is off.
Powering off.
How's everyone doing today? Happy Friday to all of you. Can you please let me know if I'm coming in clear? Lima Charlie, loud and clear. I've got some exciting news, actually. Now that it's not so cold outside, I get to put my hotspot outside with the window open, so I should be coming in very nice and clear. So we have a few months of nice clear streaming. Outstanding. I got a 6x5 from Eric. How you doing? Hey, there's Angie. How you doing, Angie? Good to see you. Tell Gary the hubby that I said hello. Let me go up a little here so I can say hello to a few of you before we start. Let's see. Hello, Violia. Violia Edwards. How are you doing? Texas is so dry. We are in need of a good rain. Yes, I've been hearing that. I've actually kind of like made an acquaintance with that farmer from Texas, and she's been sending me a lot of information, or she calls herself a farm her. Get it? Farm her. She's been sending me some pictures, and I actually have a video on that coming out tomorrow. Not about the farms down there, but something else that just came up that I ran across today. But let's say hello to Tom Larson. How you doing from Michigan? Francis Green, Pam T. How you doing? Debbie Sims, Kathleen Ralston is here. Larry Lua, Joe Texas, Copernicus. How you doing? Debbie C. Sandy Crabtree, Yarn Preppers in the house, along with Jan. How you doing, Jan? The Bigs Preps. How you doing to you? Pam T. Thank you, Pam. Yes, welcome to all newcomers. Caribbean House is in the house. Good afternoon. Nostradamus is in the house. Doug 11156. How you doing? Bonnie is here along with Professor Falcon. Let's see, who else do we have? Debbie C, hello. Goldie Leva, how are you doing? Catching your second live stream. Well, welcome and thank you for being here. JT is in the house as always. Hello, JT. Good to see you. Jeff Riffle, Sandy Crabtree. I said hello to already, but you got a 2-for-1 today. I want to thank all of you that joined us over at Grayman Prepping's channel last night for the live stream. Had a lot of fun. Grayman has a great community there. If you haven't watched that live stream, it was a lot of fun, really. You may want to go catch it at Grayman's. If one of our moderators can put up Gray's link, I'm sure you'd enjoy it. Lil Stumpy, how you doing? Texas Gals are in the house. Pam T. Alex the Gamer is here. Deborah. All of our mods are here today. Welcome, ladies. Thank you for being here. Truly do appreciate you all. Debbie Sims. Janice, how you doing? Fran Moyer. Matt Astartes. Vicky, hello. Happy Friday to you. Billy and Dee are in the house. That's probably Billy there. So how you doing, Billy? You almost won one of those coins yesterday. The Roman family is here. How you doing? Celtic Prepper, hello. Jeff Riffle. Bonnie Bethel, Sunny, glad your snow is gone. Our snow is starting to melt. It is starting to melt. I have hope now that by the middle of May, it should be gone. By the middle of May, it should be gone. So May go away. Preparedness Suburbanite, hello. Poppy Prepper is here. Taterto's grandma, Darlene Kister. Hector Prepper, how you doing? Josie Hickman. T Lynn, how you doing, T Lynn from Palmer? Welcome. Manuel Diaz, how you doing? You can't take a horse to water, but you can take a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. That's right. Prepare now. It's getting a lot worse. Yes, and we're going to go over a little reading here with you all today. And it's actually part of this covers the video that I've got coming out for tomorrow. I think I've got a couple of videos coming out tomorrow that has to do with this, but we'll release that tomorrow. Dizzy 2020, how you doing? Linda, hello. Colleen. All right, I'm coming in good. How you doing, Svein? Matt, how you doing? Velo is here. Taterto's grandma is here. Pat T, Pam T, Lori, Francis Green, Evil Girl is here. Goldie, how you doing? The Survival Buzz, A9 is in the house. Marine 84 is here. How you doing? Ann Palmer from the great state of Louisiana is in the house. Joe Tejas, Darlene Kister, Suzanne E. Gowlett is in the house. How you doing, Suzanne? Lady Viola made it. How you doing, Lady Viola? Always nice to see you. Sputter Spark, Joel Hunter, Simple Are Us, Bama Jin. Bama Jin, that reminds me, ladies and gentlemen, today is the 22nd of April. And I haven't seen Mr. Tom in our live stream for a little while, but I hope that he's listening in because Mr. Tom's birthday was on Monday, and I forgot to mention it on Sunday's live stream. But Mr. Tom, I want to wish you a happy birthday. All right. And I hope that everyone here joins in and wishing Mr. Tom a happy birthday. I believe that this last Monday, or happy belated birthday to you, Mr. Tom. You know, we all love you. And I do believe that Mr. Tom has reached the young age of 66 years old. All right. So happy birthday, Mr. Tom. If you're lurking in the background, pop in really quick so that everyone can wish you a happy belated birthday. Let's see. Debbie Sims, Sister Golden Hair. Oh, goodness. McBean is in the house. How you doing, McBean? Viv B is here. Jeffrey Lundquist. Kevin Grip made it. The 7 Hoffman girls are here as well. Oh, hallelujah, ladies and gentlemen. The 7 Hoffman girls say, hey, P, the clearest picture ever. Oh, goodness. That is awesome. And guess what? Spring is in the air, ladies and gentlemen, because the drip drops from the roof are going pretty much 24/7 now. And I seen some geese flying north this morning. So we are ready to get busy here. We're going to start getting ready to get ready for winter. Susie Q is here. Consider the Ant. Carrot Top. Prepper 67 is in the house. Very nice to see you. Jan Zhu. Sign of the Times. The Remaining Remnant. Same to you. Thank you for that. Sleepyhead 84. You did make it. Welcome. Grandma Mary. Pinch Runner. Angela Picerno is here. David D says the stock market looks bad today. Time to stock up food and precious metals. Amen to that, David. Prep it up. Prep it up. Make sure that you have your things prepped. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what? It's come to a point where I realize that many people are not going to prepare, and they are going to rely on government and or charity. And don't be one of those people, okay? Don't be one of those people. If you're here for the first time and for some reason you've never come across a channel that talks about being prepared, it's not preparing for the end of the world. It's just preparing for our families to make sure that we and our families have those things that they need in order to sustain a standard of living that is similar to the one that you have now, meaning that you have heat, that you have shelter, that you have food, that you have warmth, that you have water, medicine. It's not about preparing for the end of the world. Trust me. Let's see. Caribbean House says, I got the last bag of 50-pound rice in Sam's. The price went up already. Yep. And it's going to be going up even more. And I do have a video on that coming out tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. It seems that the perfect storm is upon us, right? And it may be taking a little bit of time for it to finally get here, but it will get here. And once that perfect storm does hit us, we will have a little bit of a respite. It's just like a regular storm. There will be an eye of the storm, and we will have a little bit of a respite in where we think that things are going back to normal and that things are good, but not knowing that we're just in the eye of the storm. So when you're prepped up, don't stop filling in those gaps and don't stop thinking about the future. All right. Make sure you live your lives though. Okay. Jesse Olson, Shannon Smith, Granny Prepper. Hello, Becky, Shirley, Sandra. 82 degrees in Florida, says Jeff. Scott Hummer, how you doing? Dr. Eric Kessel, how are you doing, Dr. Eric? Mary Carter. Rice and beans mofo. I like it. Carol Unstoppable UK, how you doing? Blue Star Gene W. Ghost Prepper is here. How you doing, Ghost Prepper? Good to see you. Gidget Rose, how are you? Little Kim Preps, Dream Country, how you doing? Marvy is here. Catherine Stringer, blessings to you as well. Calls Act. Cul-de-sac Grocery Garden. Ashley Briggs, Wendy Neal. How far behind am I? I'm really far behind. I'm going to bring it down a little bit. Yes, thank you, Eric. Video looks a lot better. Yes, my upspeed speed is or upload speed is much better doing it the way I'm doing it now. You know what? Grayman prepping, all right? Grayman, he almost ticked me off last night pre-show, pre-live stream, because I was so excited that I was getting nicer upload speeds yesterday, right before his live stream. Because what I did was I took a tripod, I put it outside next to the window, and I stuck it in the snow. And I put my phone there, which is the only way that I can get, internet here. It's via hotspot from the phone. And I opened my side window. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm getting such awesome upload speeds. And for me, awesome is anything above 2. Believe it or not. I was getting like 9, 10, something like that. I was so excited. So I shared that with him on screen before our live stream yesterday. And then he says, you want to see mine? I'm like, yeah. So he shows me his, and his is like off the chart. Can't even measure the darn speed. It's so fast. It was literally like 1,000 times faster than mine. But that's okay. How you doing, Mark? Good to see you. Nishka is here. How you doing, Nishka? Rakamas is here. HZ. Shoestring Prepper, Camille, Sean Penrod, how you doing? Good to see you, Sean. Ms. B, Debbie Sims, how you doing? Linda Bopp is here. Eddie Dry. Jennifer Skinner made it. How you doing, Jennifer? Good to see you. How you doing, Hurley? Good to see you as well. Hello, Mimi. Manuel Diaz is here. Deborah Ramirez is here. Trump be cool. Okay. Sister Golden here, I said hi to already. Hello. Hello, Survival Buzz. Mario123, how you doing? Mario123. I do believe that Becky from Nutrient Survival shipped out your little package that she was going to ship you. So you should be getting it here pretty soon. How you doing, Matt? Good to see you. Marcus, Maria, Auntie Pam, Margie, Summer Fun Guy. How you doing, Laura? The Bigs, Darren, Kitsy is here. Mary Nigri or Negre. Hello to how you doing, Mary? Good to see you. Scott, how you doing? Gene W. Rudy Lozano, how are you doing from Southwest Texas? Big Blue Beach Wagon, Ken Warland, Carol Mull, how you doing? All right, let's see. Beam B ask AP. Moderator, hello. Hope, pray everyone is doing well. We need to be and stay happy to. Yes, we need to be happy, ladies and gentlemen. There's no need to carry a frown all day long, okay? No need to carry a frown all day long. If you do it in the morning for a few minutes until you get your coffee, that's understandable, okay? I'm kind of like a morning person, and Little Miss Alaska Prepper is not a morning person, okay? So I take Little Miss Alaska Prepper to school in the mornings, and Mrs. Alaska Prepper picks her up. It works better for our schedule that way. Well, every morning, Little Miss Alaska Prepper comes down those stairs, and I try to cheer her up by singing her a little song, but it doesn't work very often. Salobrena is in the house. How you doing, Salobrena? Good to see you. All right. Ann Palmer says that she did enjoy the live stream last night. That's great. Yes, I had a great time. Gray man is a good man. Let's see. Teresa S., how you doing? Luis Fernando Torres Lopez. Now, we have to do this the right way, ladies and gentlemen, because this is a real Spanish name, the way it's done. Luis Fernando Torres Lopez. There you go. That is awesome. Nice to see you, Luis. And I wasn't making fun of you, by the way. I think that's awesome that you use your full name like that, hyphenated and everything. All right, let's bring it on down a little bit. Yeah, Suzanne, everything is getting a little soggy here, but that's okay. That's okay. It won't last very long until the rainy season comes, but that's all right. I need that snow to go away so I can start on some projects. Let's see. Joe Hunter got a new freezer to fill with meat. That is awesome. Oh, Mario, you're talking about the berry nutrient drink. Yeah, that stuff is good. I really like it. Only thing is, make sure that you shake it in a bottle instead of stirring it. I found that when I stir it, it leaves floaties, but when you shake it, it dissolves really well. And I told her to send you some of the vanilla meal replacement. Man, it is really, really good. I really like that. I'm more of a vanilla guy than I am chocolate. So I tried that. I actually had one today for lunch. It was great. I told her I went and placed an order for a whole bunch of it because I think it's really that good. Have a great day. Ask, how long does oatmeal last in just a food saver bag, vacuum seal, no oxygen? It should last a very long time. I can't tell you a specific amount of time. And the reason I can't say that is because I've never just stored it like that for long term. But I can tell you this, I had some oatmeal just in its regular pack, in the regular bag that it came in, and I had it for like more than 3 years, and it was still good. So if with it being stored just in a pantry in its regular pack for more than 3 years, man, I'm sure it will last at least a decade, if not more, if you vacuum seal it. Now let's see, who else do we have here? Okay, okay. Yes, happy birthday, Mr. Tom. I hope Mr. Tom watches this. I have to give him a call. I haven't talked to him in a little bit. How you doing, Forrest? A Hobbit is here. Angel and Jesus Christ is here. How you doing? Oh, really, Angels? Well, you definitely know that I didn't promote those commercials. Yeah, YouTube puts whatever they want in there. I remember one day somebody unsubscribed from this channel. This was a couple of years ago. He called me a racist because of I don't even know what commercial popped up. You know, when the ads pop up on the videos, I guess some ad popped up on one of the videos that he was watching. That was my video, and he considered that ad to be racist. So he thought that I was the one that put that ad there, not knowing that the YouTube algorithm puts ads that suit you most. How you doing, Angels Arrive? Good to see you. Let's see. We're bringing it down. Let's see. Oh, look at that. We're at almost 20 minutes. We're going to bring it down, and then I'm going to show you what I want to go over with you, ladies and gentlemen. That way you can see that the necessity for prepping is not, swaying. It's actually getting more pertinent that we take what we're doing here seriously. And I know that everyone that's here, if not almost everyone, is serious about being better prepared. But I've always said that information is power. Knowledge is power, because you can take that knowledge and or information that you have and put it to use by better preparing for what may be coming, depending on the probabilities of that actually happening. And the probabilities of what's happening here with food around the world, not just here in the US, of it continuing to worsen, unfortunately, the probabilities, in my opinion, are higher than lower. Nishka, I think I'm going to go ahead and do some more cheese because I just love the freeze dried cheese. I love the freeze dried cheese. I love the meatballs and the chicken that I get from Costco. You know what? I would say that I like that chicken, the one that you buy in the bag that's already frozen and cooked. I would say that I like that better than I like the beef that I freeze dry. But the beef is also good as well. Very good. It's a lot less labor intensive doing that chicken because it's already cooked and frozen. And all you have to do is just put it on the freeze dryer trays, put it in there, and it has a very, very good flavor as well. Forrest says gold and silver took a dive today. That is awesome. Let it dive. Let it dive. All right, because the first of the week is coming up here pretty soon. I mean, the first of the month, not the first of the week. The first of the month is coming up. And dollar cost averaging, ladies and gentlemen, is what it's all about. So I hope that it dives some more. I would like to see, you see, with this video is not about gold and silver, this live stream, but usually if you take a look at the charts going back through history and you compare recessions with gold and silver price, you will notice that usually about, I don't know, whenever a recession starts, you would think that gold and silver would shoot up, but usually it usually goes down pretty quickly, and then about 6 months to 12 months or so after that recession has started, gold and silver just shoots straight up. So I would like to see gold and silver take a $200 hit and hit the 1700 levels. That would be so awesome. But this last mini cycle, this last micro cycle in the business cycle, in my opinion, has been a little different than the previous ones, because remember, the government didn't start doing quantitative easing, like real quantitative easing in the billions and trillions and now tens of trillions of dollars, till 2008. So it's been a little bit different. So I'm not sure if the cycles are going to play out exactly the same as they did in the past. So that's why I like to dollar cost average. Right? That's why I like the dollar cost average. And there it is. Grayman is in the house. I haven't checked my emails yet, Grayman, for those names and addresses, but I'll check them this week and see if you got them all yet. Let me see. Be free, be frugal. Welcome. Look at that. Tonette is in the house. Hello, Tonette. Say hello to the hubby. Hello, AP. Limiting cooking oil in supermarkets here in the UK. I believe it. And I believe that the price of cooking oil over there, at least in Germany, I saw an article, went up like 5-fold or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, Salobrena, I've been hearing that on different channels. I went and visited Prepper Nation, John over at Prepper Nation yesterday for his daily live stream. And he says something like 14 food manufacturing plants have either caught fire or have had some kind of physical damage done to them here, like in the last 3 or 4 months. I don't really know what to say about that. I spoke about that yesterday on Grayman's channel while we were doing the live on whether it's orchestrated or not, or pre-planned or not. But then again, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what it is, whether it's pre-planned or not, what's going on right now, one of the things that I have to say about that is what does it really matter to you or me, whether what's going on has been pre-planned? All right, what does it really matter? Because whether it was pre-planned or not, is there anything that you or I on a personal level could have done to change it? I would say no. However, you can on a personal level change the outcome of what happens to you and your family, right, and your community by preparing now. Oh, good to go, Manuel. That's awesome. Let's see. Let's bring it down a little bit. I really need to. Oh, look at that. I know I got some super chats. I really need to get to those so then I can get to what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, I'm going to go ahead and go through these super chats that I got here so I don't forget them. And then I'm going to go and talk to you about what I want to talk to you about today. It's not going to take too long. I'm going to show you a couple of slides. And then after that, we'll open it and we'll do a little chit chat and back and forth. Any questions or comments that you want to share with the community, go ahead and put them all in caps. But wait until I get done with my spiel, right? Okay, Christian. Thank you, Christian. With everything that Russia has said recently about declaring war with NATO, if they continue to support Ukraine, if they continue to support Ukraine, I'm guessing that by they you mean like NATO nations, right? How do you feel about the U.S.'s new $800 million dollar military package? I don't think that the U.S. should be sending any kind of aid to anyone. All right. So, for example, let's see. Last year, right, in 2021, the U.S. collected about $4 trillion in taxes, something like that, and it spent about 5.4 trillion or something like that. So they spent about 35% more than what they took in. So ask yourself a question. If you are the head of a household and your household is bringing in $100,000 a year, would you be donating on top of spending the entire $100,000 a year that you earned that year? Would you be donating to your community, to your neighbors, to your family, whoever it is, an additional $35,000 that year and putting it on a credit card? Okay, so bring it down to a personal level and ask yourself, would I do that? So if I only made $100,000 a year and I spent every penny of that, to support my family and to live and to pay taxes and whatever it is, but if it was all gone because I spent it all, and then I took out credit cards, would I take out another $35,000 in loans so that I can give that money away? So I don't believe that the United States should be sending out aid to anyone. All right. You have to take care of your house first before you can take care of anyone else. If not, your house will just end up rotting away. Okay. Because if you don't take care of that leaky roof, eventually that roof is going to fall in on itself. So how can we be assisting other countries with billions and hundreds of billions of dollars, if not trillions, in aid when we ourselves don't even make enough to do the things that we need to do for our country on an annual basis? That's the way I feel. I really like that, Green Country. I like that a lot. A positive mental attitude is a free prep. Get one. Absolutely. Very well said. And there you go. Dr. Eric follows it up by saying, turn that frown upside down. Don, I have never fermented anything. Maybe I'll take that back. I did make a batch of sauerkraut once, and it came out great. Right? I fermented it in a bucket and everything for like 30 days, and it came out really good. I really enjoyed it. I fermented it to a point where it didn't get really soggy, but still had a little bit of crunch, and I loved it. Gray man, what are you doing, man? Does this cover the silver you gave? What? No, man, you don't have to do that, man. Thank you, brother. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Just for that, I'm gonna go ahead and send you another silver coin. uh, Cindy says, I didn't see the vanilla when I placed my order. Yeah, they have it. I think it's like on the last page on the bottom left-hand corner. If you take a look at that 6-minute video or something like that I put up before their prices went up, you'll see that I actually talked about it. And I'll tell you what, I mean, you hear me say this about just about everything that Nutrient Survival makes. But the thing is that if I really like it, I'm going to tell you I really like it. Just like that chocolate shake, the chocolate meal replacement. I'm not really a chocolate guy, so I prefer the vanilla. Not that I don't like the chocolate, I drink it no problem, but my wife likes the chocolate more than the vanilla. So she tasted the vanilla when I got it, and I was like, wow, this is really good. Try it. She was like, I like the chocolate more. I'm like, okay, well, good, because we have a lot of it, and I got a lot of it because I know she likes it. And look at this. I was just talking about John. How you doing, brother? Okay. Hey, no problem, man. Thank you for stopping in. Good to see you. Let's see. Brenda, AP, I need a sharp knife and a sharp scissors. Any advice? Either get a good knife sharpener that's also a scissor sharpener. I'm not being facetious. Uh, Man, I don't remember when I did this review, but it was more than 2 years ago. I actually purchased a small electric knife sharpener that works with a little band instead of actually a stone or anything like that, and it works great. I just sharpened my knives the other day, and it works really well. And it also sharpens scissors. Uh, if I remember to get a picture of it or something like that, or bring it up on Amazon, I'll go ahead and do it for our next live stream because it's a really good little investment. It wasn't very expensive either. I'm really sorry to hear that, Linda. Linda asked, could you please ask the community for prayers? We found out yesterday that my husband's sister has cancer. She will be going to surgery on the 26th. Prayers are powerful. Well, absolutely. I'm really sorry to hear that. I know how that feels. I have a family member that I love dearly that has cancer as well. Let's see. Kevin, thank you, man. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. Truly do appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, let's bring it down real quick. All right. All right, all right. Where are we at? We're at 30 minutes. How you doing, Mark? Survival Buzz, thank you. Keep up the great work. Thank you, man. Thank you, Survival Buzz. I appreciate that. Let's see. Okay, I'm bringing it down still, making sure that I don't miss anything. If you want to hold your questions just for now for a little bit, so I can go over my spiel. Hello, Village Homestead. How you doing? McBean, I haven't checked my email in a couple of days. Okay, I might check it tomorrow or Sunday. How you doing, Liz Chavez? Good to see you. And you know what, Lil Stumpy? Lil Stumpy says, I totally agree. We should be taking care of our veterans and our citizens first. And you know what's the best way that the government can take care of us? What is the best way that the government can take care of us? I'll tell you, is to leave us the heck alone. Leave us alone and do what they're supposed to do, which is to protect our rights. And then let everything else take care of itself. Yeah, well, Joe, you know that the government, at least the United States government, they need a war. They need a war, and I've stated this several times. It all comes down to the financial system, right? The government is like a paper tiger, all right, or a king, the king without clothes, however that goes, right? They need a war in order to cover up the fact that our dollar is almost dead. You could see the dollar go up on the dollar index on the DXY or the Dixie. You can see it going up, but are you able to buy more with it? All right, so you can see it going up on the world stage when you compare it to other currencies, but can you buy more with it here where you live? I would say that the answer is no. Okay. Heck, I think I have like 2 videos to release tomorrow. I also have one on prices that I did a price comparison. So yeah, the government knows, the Federal Reserve knows, they know that our monetary system is dead. And without a monetary system that they can use to print money out of thin air and steal our wealth so that they can continue going to wars and try to dominate the world, then what are they going to do without it when they actually have to have real money that is actually backed by something real? What are they going to do when they can't just print out of thin air and continue to make themselves rich at our demise? So they have to continue to be able to print. And the only way to do that is with one thing and one thing alone, and that is crises. And it can be in whatever form you want. It can be in the form of a bug, right? That creates a health crisis that lasts 2 years, that destroys the middle class. It can be in the form of war. It can be in the form of the T word, because we have to stop the T word guys, from coming over and doing something bad. It can be whatever boogeyman they want to find, they're going to find in order to continue their world hegemony with the dollar. But unfortunately, they played their cards wrong this time around. Unfortunately for them, not for us, really. It may be a little tough for us, but I believe that once we get on the other side of this, that we will be better off than we are now with a government as corrupt as it is. Oh, that's a great question, Frenchie. So what I do is I don't really recommend, because we're all different. But what I do is I try to have enough gasoline on hand to fill up each vehicle that I have. So I have 3 vehicles, and each vehicle has roughly a 25-gallon tank. My Suburban has a 28-gallon tank. I think that my Tundra has a 26-gallon tank, and the other one has a 28-gallon tank. So I try to keep enough gas to fill up each vehicle once. All right. And that's how I go with. I mean, there's only so much gasoline that you can really safely store. So that's what I go with. Okay, bringing it down, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to take a look at any other questions until I get done with my spiel here. I'm going to share this with you. So I wanted to go over a real short article with you all, and I actually have, things that I want to talk about on there underlined to show you that the dominoes are still falling. All right. I've talked about this in the past that we're going to have a perfect storm, and that perfect storm, it may not be here just right now, but it is approaching, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for us to realize that it will eventually be upon us, and we must continue to prepare. And if you're not preparing, congratulations for being here and being open-minded enough to hear what someone else may have to say on that subject than what you maybe have heard on other platforms. But I want to share this with you, and I'm going to read it off to you. That way you can follow along. And this is an article written by one of my very favorite authors, and that's Mr. Michael Snyder. All right. And he says here, never before in modern history have we seen global food production being hit in so many ways and so many major problems all at once. And I would have to say that I agree with that. And that's just me talking about my recent history. Okay. But even if we look all the way back to the last 100 years, we haven't seen all of the things that have been occurring in this short span of time occur the way that it is happening right now. And he continues to say that it is a perfect storm, and hundreds of millions of people are going to deeply suffer as a result. And that is one of my goals, ladies and gentlemen. One of my goals, and one of the reasons why I do what I do here on YouTube, is because I don't want you to suffer. And there's no reason for you to have to suffer. All right. It's going to get bad enough anyways. And when I say it's going to get bad enough anyways, I'm not trying to scare anyone, but it's reality. The government over there in Ukraine, they kept telling the people there that everything was going to be just fine. And the people found out on the day that Russia invaded, the people found out that everything wasn't going to be just fine. They kept telling them that so that the people wouldn't do a mass exodus and clog up all the roads, which tells you what, ladies and gentlemen? It tells me that the government thinks about itself first. They can come up with whatever reasons they want to why they didn't tell them, but the fact of the matter is this, is that if a meteor is coming towards the earth, you're not going to find out until some amateur astronaut sees it and posts that information on social media, because you're not going to be getting it from the government. They are going to take care of government first. You will be the last to know. So why not prepare early instead of trying to prepare late? Because once it's too late, it's too late. There was a time in Ukraine where those people could have left there in a good way. They could have bugged out in a good way, in a structured way. But they were never told, they were never informed, and they did not themselves have the intuition of leaving, even though they were seeing what was going on and hearing what was going on between Ukraine and Russia. So the same thing with us here or wherever you live. Make sure that you prepare for before the crisis starts, not when it starts. Let's see. I have to bring this up. Okay. Give me a second. I'm still an amateur at this, so I have to go ahead and remove this. And then I have to go ahead and get my next one up there. And he says, ultimately, it is the collective impact of all of these factors together that is really going to hammer us. And he says, a global fertile. Now, this is about rice. And listen to this. A global fertilizer crisis is going to result in a loss of production worldwide that is equivalent to enough food to feed 500 million people, right? It says here, we don't eat that much rice in the Western world, but in Asia, it is a core staple of their diets. And rice, ladies and gentlemen, is a core staple of the diets of about half of the world. And some of you may be asking, Well, I don't eat rice. How is this going to affect me? Well, he covers that here in the next few paragraphs. I'm not sure if I actually annotated those, but I'll tell you how that's going to affect you. Because when you consider that rice that is going to be, 500 million people are not going to be able to eat that rice that they normally would, then what are they going to eat? Convert that rice that is not going to be there now into calories. So how many calories is that? That is a deficit of X number of calories that now we don't have because it's not being produced. So those people are going to have to replace those calories that they're not now getting from the rice with something else. Well, what will it be? Will it be wheat? Will it be oats? Will it be this or that? Whatever it is, it's going to end up putting upward pressure on the availability and the price of that item that they use to fill in the gap for the rice that's now missing. And we all know that we're also having problems with wheat and corn. So, at the very least, you're going to see prices continuing to escalate, and you're going to end up paying more of what you earn just to feed yourselves and your families. He goes on to say, how will all of that food be replaced? Exactly what I just said. Well, they could eat more wheat, okay? But there is going to be a lot less wheat produced in 2022 as well. In fact, one agricultural commodity expert is warning that the war in Ukraine alone could mean that between 19 million and 34 million tons of export production could disappear this year. And I'm not sure how many of you know, but I believe it's something like 40 countries that rely pretty much solely on Ukraine for their wheat. And now Ukraine is only looking at producing about 30 to 40% of the wheat that they normally produce. And of that 30 to 40% that they're going to end up producing this year, if they can and harvest, they're going to keep most of that to feed their people. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be upward pressure on the price of food for the next several years, I believe, because even if this war stopped in the next 6 months, it's going to take a year or two for all of these systems to recover and get back in line. Here he says, and we are already seeing wheat prices go completely insane. From early March, just from March to April, the price of wheat has jumped 20%. And that's just the beginning. Unfortunately, the outlook for the months ahead is very troubling due to bizarre weather patterns all over the planet. The perfect storm, ladies and gentlemen. All right, it's the perfect storm. We're having all of these factors hit us all at once. Fertilizer shortage, all right, bad weather, war, terrible stock market, i.e., financial system. It's like everything is coming together at once, and we will end up paying the price, unfortunately, for the decisions that politicians make. Let's see here. He says here, on top of all of this, there will be a lot less fewer eggs produced this year. We all know about what's going on with the H5N1. Okay, so there we go. We all know what's going on with the chicken flu. So that's another thing. I've gotten some pictures from the farmer, from the farm herd that I've been talking to, and she's showing me the pictures of her farm, and they have thousands of acres, and it's just dry. It almost looks like desert. You can see a little bit of green here and there, but it almost looks like desert. So why did I show you this, ladies and gentlemen? Some people need to see it with their eyes, but don't trust what I just showed you. I implore you to go do your own research. I've always been able to learn better if I actually do something myself instead of seeing someone else do it. Right? I think a lot of people are like that, hands on, I guess you can say, right? So whenever you see someone show you something, go research it yourself. That way you can convince yourself that, A, to me, this is valid information. And now I have to make a plan on what actions I'm going to take to mitigate, whatever downfalls this information, may have, if it manifests into reality, of course. How you doing, Brenda? Thank you. How you doing? Good to see you. Wheat should be good here. Yes, I heard that like in Michigan and some other states around there, that wheat is going to be doing good because they got some rain. But Brenda says we should be good here. We have another blizzard coming in tonight. That's actually good, right? On the ground from last storm. Corn, it's hard to say. I forgot where I read this, but I believe I read an article today that said, and I forgot what states they mentioned, but it said that wheat and corn were going to be doing pretty good in those areas, which is good. That's a great thing. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, I wish that everything that I've been saying about food shortages and stuff, I wish that I've been wrong about all of it. I'll be very happy to be wrong about all of that stuff. And I hope that I am still. But we haven't talked about the grand solar minimum lately, all right? Because a lot of people have a contention. You our government has done such a great job, and our media as well, at dividing us and not allowing us to speak to each other. You either have some people that are on the side of human-made, climate change, or that we're going into a grand solar minimum. I'm on the side of a grand solar minimum. I just can't believe that humans can destroy the earth. I mean, a meteor hit the earth 65, 66 million years ago, and the earth is still here, right? What we're doing, in my opinion, is we're polluting the earth, making life for ourselves here more miserable by polluting the heck out of it, right? But I don't believe that we're destroying it to the point where we will make ourselves extinct. Nature will take care of that all by itself, okay? Nature will take care of cleansing itself when the time comes, but that's what I think. But with the grand solar minimum, these weather patterns, it's not necessarily going to get super cold. It's erratic weather patterns. And some places on the earth is going to have droughts. Midwest, we're having Midwest to the west, we're having a 1,200-year mega drought that hasn't been as bad for 1,200 years, if not farther back, right? There's other parts in the world, like China, late last year. They lost a lot of their harvest. Why? Because they had historic floods, right? We have Brazil down in South America. Last year, I think it was, they lost about 60 or 70% of their coffee crop. Why? Because they had freezes, right? They had overnight freezing, and they also had droughts. So it's erratic weather pattern, all over the world. In the Midwest, in Texas also, they're having a lot of dryness, but also they're having really high winds that's eradicating the nutrients from the top of the soil because it's blowing it all away. So it's erratic weather patterns all the way around. And if you just take a little bit of a look and do a little bit of studying on grand solar minimums, that's what it is. That's what happens during a grand solar minimum. Look at all of the solar activity that we've been having here in the last several weeks, I would say. That's another symptom of the grand solar minimum. But then again, like I said before, does it really matter what it is? What really matters is, are you preparing for it? Are you preparing for what may come and hoping that it doesn't come? I guess, how does it go? Hope for the best and prepare for the worst, something like that, right? All right, so Comfortably says eggs went up from $1 to $2.19 in Central Florida. Wow. How you doing, dude? Dude, what's happened to my country? I like that. Uh, Tons of wind here in Southwest Colorado. Wow, you see, there you go. Uh, Just Seeker, did I put that up? Just Seeker, I like to use quartz, but the reason I like to use quartz is because I'm packing enough protein in that quart when I pressure can it for a family of 4 to 5 to 6. Because whenever I pack a quart, that usually takes in roughly 2 pounds of meat. So if you're looking at 8 people, you're looking at a quarter pound of meat per person. But usually, we have a little more than a quarter pound of meat per person. So whenever I take meat out of a quart jar for a meal, it usually provides us at least 4 meals plus leftovers for a couple more, for a couple more meals on top of that. So it just depends on the size of your family. If you're single or it's just you and your significant other, then I would say that a pint jar would work fine because that's a pound of meat, right? So it's going to give you a pretty good serving for each of you. So depending on the size of your family or who you're preparing it for, then I would say that would depend on the size of the jars that I would use. Let's see. Uncle Charlie, how you doing? Rakamas, how you doing? Oh, I think I hear Mrs. Alaska Prepper. Give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thanks. Are you taking right off? Okay. All right. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. My wife was walking up, and I can hear her talking. So I thought I would interdict. Okay, let's bring it down a little bit. All right, listen. If you have any questions or comments you want to share with the community, go ahead and put it all in caps. And let me see. We're at 50 minutes already. Isn't that something? Am I still coming in loud and clear? Can you give me a number one if I'm still coming in loud and clear? Auslander says the next Carrington event is expected in 2025. I mean, it could be any time. I think I remember reading somewhere that on average, the Earth gets hit by a massive CME like every 150 or every 160 years. And that's about how long it's been, about 160 years. Yeah, it was 1859, right? Or 1959. No, 1859, not 1959. Yeah, 1859 was the last one. And that was the Carrington event. Yeah. Hurley, I don't know what you mean by this. What's your thoughts on the N and S poles migrating, or the North and South poles migrating? I mean, it's been happening. They've been tracking it for several years, and it's been speeding up. So, I mean, as long as it's doing it slowly and it just doesn't do it all at once, I mean, I don't know. I've never been alive during a pole shift, but I'm just guessing here, having absolutely no expertise in this whatsoever. But I'm assuming that as long as it does it slowly, that we should be okay. As long as it doesn't do it quickly, because if it does it quickly, then forget it. I mean, I can just it would be a it would be a life-ending event. What do they call it? An Ellie? I forgot what they call it. But it would be like a life on Earth ending event if it just switched rapidly. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you for that. I said here, the USA. Elsewhere, who knows? Oh, you mean here? Like, oh yeah. Well, you know what, Brenda? Though, okay, I understand what you mean, Brenda. So this is what scares me. I think that the United States can grow plenty of wheat and plenty of food. I think that we can, even with all these droughts and whatever is going on. I think we can grow enough. What scares me is this: is how much of that are we going to export? So if the government were to see that we had, let's say the government saw, I think it was like 1.2 billion. I think the numbers was like 1.2 billion metric tons of grain. I think it is. I could be wrong on grain or if it was just wheat, but I think we go through about 1.2 billion metric tons a year. Well, this year our carryover is only 598 million metric tons, which leaves us 600 million metric tons shy to have what we need for the rest of the year. Now, we should be able to grow that. We should be able to plan that and harvest at least that to cover us for the year, right? If not more. So, how much of that, how much of what we harvest will the government allow these companies to export outside of our borders? That's what scares me. I feel, and I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. I feel that if it came down to our government exporting grains to China or letting us starve, I think they would export the grains to China and let us starve. And the reason I feel that way is because I feel that China owns our government. And that's not getting political. That's just looking and seeing what's going on and what's been going on. Our government our government is pretty much owned by China. If China decides to take Taiwan, I'm telling you right now, there's nothing we would do. And if we do something militarily, forget it. It would be terrible because I feel that our government will forsaken us. Are you starting to get the idea that maybe I don't like government? For those of you that are maybe here that are new, you might start to get the idea that I don't like government. No, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are here that are new, I don't. Because point to me what government does that is productive. Point to me what they do that is productive. Point to me what government creates. What do they make? How do they make wealth? They make nothing. They take our wealth and then they make laws in order to take more of our wealth and our liberties. That's what government does. It really is. I wish somebody could prove me wrong, but I just don't think that anyone can. I'm pretty open minded and I'm willing to listen. But if somebody can prove me wrong, then I'd be willing to listen. But I just don't think that I am wrong. Let me take a sip of this. Okay, let's see. Bringing it down some. Cardlaveski, how are you doing? Good to see you. How you doing, Militant Roots? Gosty, how you doing? Can you freeze dry eggs up to a year? Can you freeze eggs? I would say so if you like scramble them. Yeah, I don't see why not. Freezing preserves pretty much anything, right? Freezing preserves pretty much anything. After so long, depending on how you freezed it, I would recommend putting it like in a food saver or even in a jar in a food save it to get as much air out of there as you can so you don't get freezer burnt. But freezing pretty much preserves anything. The question is what's the texture and the taste and the quality of that food going to be the longer that you leave it frozen, you know? How you doing, Jennifer Land? Good to see you here. Tanya Bussell, hello. Captain Coral says Ogson Farms. I'm assuming that's what you're saying. Ogson Farms is having a backlog of 1 to 2 months. Yeah, I mean, pretty much every long-term food company is right. Pretty much every long-term food company. I talked to Becky yesterday, I think it was, and she said that they're only about 2 or 3 weeks behind, which is I'm amazed that they're only 2 or 3 weeks behind. I keep hoping that they put in a second freeze dryer where they're at because, man, have you ever seen an industrial freeze dryer, ladies and gentlemen? If you've never seen an industrial freeze dryer, I'll try to upload a clip. I have a picture, or no, I have a short video of the freeze dryer that Nutrient Survival actually has in their warehouse, where in their manufacturing plant is what it is. I'm not sure if I can show the video, but I could probably show a photo of it and it is huge. It's like literally bigger than my house. These things are huge. And even with a freeze dryer that big, they're still a couple of weeks behind. It's just they're getting bombarded with orders every single day. And I mean, I'm kind of happy that they are because I really want people to get that food. I mean, you all know me that have been here for a while. You know that I love that stuff. I think it's the very best, long-term food or survival food, whatever you want to call it, that there is in the market. Let's see, Deborah. I put up a video here. I don't know. I think it was on my last payday prep, maybe, and I actually showed the chicken that I get from Costco, so that I can put in the freeze dryer. Go check that out because it's a already cooked chicken and it's already flavored. It's really really good, and the flavor is pretty versatile. Pretty much meaning that you can cook anything with it. So go take a look at that. I think it was my last payday prep that I did. Let me see. Sunday. Hello, AP. How are Victor and Brenna doing? Getting close. Yes. Yes, getting close. Actually, here in about another month and 1 week, about 5 weeks away. They're doing really well. They just came over yesterday. They had the day off work. So we saw them yesterday. How you doing, Peter? A new beginning. Hello. Hello, Angela. How are you? Rick Summer, how you doing? Thank you. Mary Ann, how are you? Carlo, Green Country. Thank you for the ones. Oh man, I'm so excited that I'm getting all these ones. That's awesome. How you doing, Luna C? Mark Sampierto? Mark Sampierto, how are you? Samantha? Tae de Souza, how you doing, Tae? Gigi, Mrs. AP will never come on a video. She is a social media atheist. Is what I like to call her. All right, which in a way that's good for her. Hey, how you doing, Alfred? Welcome all the way from Australia. Good to see you. Nice to have you here. Oh. Man, I don't know. Linda, it says one for the voice, zero for picture. I'm not sure. I'm showing that I'm good. Everyone's giving me a one, so I hope that I'm still coming in all right. Wow, that's ridiculous. $13.08 for 5 dozen eggs? Yeah. I noticed that the 5 dozen egg count at Costco is about the same price. I think it's $12 and change. Let's see. Well, Andrea, that's something that I really don't think about. Like I said, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about things that I just can't control. But I mean, they've admitted to putting stuff in the atmosphere and stuff like that. I just what the impact is. I've seen some documentaries that show that the impact is really, really severe on the health of the people that stuff falls on. But I just don't know enough about that. And even if I did, I mean, I just don't know that there's anything that we can do about it. Like I said before, we've allowed the thing that's called government. We've allowed that monster to get too big. We have, and we will eventually pay the price for that. Unfortunately, that most of the people that will pay the price for that, I want to say in a way are innocent of what is coming, because it's been going on for generations. Why do you think that they don't want to declassify things for 50, 60 years? I mean, look at this thing that they didn't want to have declassified until like the year 2076 or something like that. Why is that, ladies and gentlemen? Why can't we know the truth, especially with the truth of those things that we pay for with our tax dollars? Why can we not know the truth? Why can we not know what happened with Kennedy? Right? Why can we not know that? Why, in my opinion, is because they have something to hide. And government's just gotten way too big. And it's going to continue, ladies and gentlemen, until it collapses. It will collapse from within. Abraham Lincoln was 100% correct when he said that we will never be taken over by an outside force invading us. That if we fall as a nation, it'll be because we fell due to forces from within. And that's what's happening now, and it's going to happen. Why? Just study history and study cycles. Well, Miss Bella, that's a great, great question. And I have a simple answer: because we let them. We let them do it. That's why they do it. They take advantage of us because we let them do it. And like I said, I don't think we have a choice because our government is owned by China. Right? Our government is owned by an entity that resides outside of our borders. Hello, Saria. Good to see you. I wonder how long it's going to take YouTube to catch on to me and kick me off of here, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you what, that'll be a sad day. Let's see here. Let me see. Captain Coral, if or Sandy, if you were asking about how many watts do you need for something in particular, go take a look at a video that I put up, and the title is something like "What size generator do you need?" Right? It should come up. And I have a little gadget on there that I use that tells you exactly how many watts whatever appliance you hook up to it is using. And you'll be able to know how many watts that appliance is that you're questioning, how many watts it uses. Cuba Bound, I do not put away dry dog food for long term. I had a bad experience with that where I lost a lot. Rancid food will not, kill you. Uh, but but if you can't eat it because you keep vomiting it, then it's no good. And I'm talking about a dog, right? So I don't put it away for long term because of that. I rather just put away extra cans of dog food. And worst comes to worst, they can eat our leftovers, which they do almost every day anyways, and they prefer. I know it's not the healthiest thing, but if that's what it came to, that's what we would be doing. If we ran out of dog food and I didn't have any supplies to make them any more dog food, like I have some TVP put up, some of my very very first preps that I bought when I first started prepping and didn't know anything. I bought some TVP flavored meats, and that's going to go to the dogs if we ever have to, if we ever run out of dog food for whatever reason. I'll make some of that up, mix it in with some rice, some oats, put a little salt in there, and they're going to be good to go. I'm sure they won't complain. I have not heard that, Erica. I have not heard that. Every time that I hear a date, the date comes and passes, which in a way it's a good thing. The last date that I heard was April 18th, that something big was supposed to happen April 18th, which it did happen. Something big did happen April 18th. Mr. Tom is still with us, and it was his birthday. So April 18th was a good day, in my opinion, a good day to be alive. But as far as something bad happening, I didn't see anything happen. That was the last date. So here you heard something about the 24th. I think I heard something about the 24th as well, but I don't remember what it is. Okay. Well, Frosty, my favorite meat to store long term is beef, and that would be pressure can beef. I love pressure can beef. Okay, the reason why I started freeze drying meats is because it's a lot lighter, right? It's a lot lighter, a lot easier to store. But pressure can beef, pressure can brisket. Oh my goodness! Don't get me started with that. Gonna make me hungry. Yeah, I mean, Sue, I've never done this before, but I don't see why not. I don't see why you couldn't freeze a scrambled egg, like in a bag or in a mold or something, and then let it thaw out and give it a quick scramble and then bake with it. I don't see why not. I mean, it's just an egg that you've frozen out, so I would say so. I've never done it though. I've never done that. How you doing, LC? Good to see you. Oh, I am so happy that you asked me about this because I would have forgotten to show you something. What three homesteading books do you all recommend? Anyone have any recommendations? Put them up. I always forget the name of the Bible of homesteading. Right? If you remember the name of that, put it up. I always forget the name of it. I have that book and I love it. I think it's an awesome book to have. It's like this thick. Right? It's like that thick. Somebody's gonna know what it is. But I wanted to say thank you to the gentleman that sent me this card, and you know who you are, and you did not include your name on here because you didn't want, you didn't include your address or anything on the container. I mean, on the envelope because you did not want me to know where you live, which is fine. All right, but I want to say thank you very much for this. This gentleman is a retired teacher, and he sent me a very, very nice note in this card. And I want to tell you, sir, thank you so much for what you sent me. It really made my day reading this, and I truly mean that. And I wish I would read this to you, ladies and gentlemen, but it's really personal. But I want to say thank you so much. And I really hope that you see this. All right. I hope that you see this so that you know that I got it. And someone sent me this book on compost everything. All right. If you're ready to throw out the rule book and return as much as you can to the soil, this book is for you. All right. So thank you very much. I'm building up my little library. You can't see it, but it's over there in the corner of the bunker. Let's see. I'm looking. Someone asked, can you water glass 3-day old eggs? Uh, if they're store bought, no. If they're, from your chickens at home, first of all, I would never wash them. All right. That right there preserves them pretty well. And I don't see why not. I don't see why you couldn't water glass them after 3 days, as long as they're from your chickens, not store bought. They haven't been pasteurized or anything like that. Yeah, Gigi, I want to freeze dry some shrimp. But I want to find it on sale. All right. I want to find them on sale first. Let's see. Michael Skinner, Four Patriots has a sale on a 3-month supply for $697. Michael Skinner, I wish that I can point my camera over there, but it'll mess things up. But over there, in this corner over here, I have that 3-month supply from Four Patriots. They send it to me without me even asking for it. All right, because I have my address down there in my description. They sent it to me and they said, we just want you to try this. No strings attached. If you want to review it, go ahead and review it. You don't have to. We just want you to try it and let us know what you think. I emailed the lady back, who was a very nice lady, by the way. Very nice lady. I took the stuff out and I looked at it. And I was like, okay, I'm looking at it and I'm comparing it to Nutrient Survival. And what I realized is that, no, it's not even my opinion. I don't like to throw companies under the bus, but the truth is the truth, and that's it. What I realized is that food is pretty much my opinion, not really opinion, but it's empty calories. You look at the nutrients in that food, and it is nothing compared to Nutrient Survival. Now, if you want to buy that food because it's cheap and you just want it to fill you up, and maybe you like how it tastes, that's great. All right. I'm not telling you what to buy, right? Because, like I said, we live with the consequences of our decisions. So I emailed that nice lady back and I said, I can't review this and I haven't even tried this. If you want, you can send someone to come and pick it up so that you can get it back. And she said, no, we're not going to do that because it's too expensive to ship it back, right? And she said, you can do whatever you want with it. And she said, why will you not, review it or try it? I said, because all you're selling here is dead calories. I actually called it dead calories. I said, look at the nutrition in your food. There's almost no nutrition. All you have is, carbohydrates, fats, proteins, very little bit of fiber. I said, all you're selling is dead calories. And she wrote back to me and she said, thank you very much for your input. Really appreciate it. Last I ever heard of her, never had any of it. I kept it. I'm planning on using it for charity. If I ever have to hand out food for charity or help someone out, that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to keep my Nutrient Survival. You get exactly what you pay for with Nutrient Survival. Is it more expensive? Absolutely, it is. But you get exactly what you pay for, which is the best nutrient dense food there is in the market. And I'll keep saying that forever because it's the truth. Okay, where are we at? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and start, cutting it down. We're going to go, let me go ahead and work my way down. Let me work my way down. Let me see. Linda, I'm not sure if you're referring to when I was talking about the government on this, but if that's what you're referring to, sometimes I can't help myself. It is what it is. Jeffrey, that's something I can't answer, my friend. I stick to what I've said. I dollar cost average, and whenever I see a big drop, I have a little bit of dry powder on the side. I go get some extra, but it's got to be a pretty substantial drop. So, in my opinion, dollar cost averaging is the best way to acquire precious metals for wealth preservation. Uh, I I personally think that we're going to see a bigger drop later on when they admit that we are in a recession. But like I said, I could be 100% wrong because of the way that things are going now and how very manipulated the markets are and have been. So I could be wrong. So that's why I dollar cost average, because eventually gold and silver is going to be multiples of what it is now. I mean, $2,000 for an ounce of gold. Are you kidding me? Eventually, gold and silver will be multiples of what it is now. All right. And I'm not into it to get rich. I'm just into it to preserve my purchasing power. But eventually, it's going to be a lot more than it is now. So, dollar cost averaging, in my opinion, is the best way to go. Okay. Oh, look at this. I didn't even know that you left me a super chat. Let me see. Law of the minimum. Okay. Hello, AP. Thank you, Law of the minimum, by the way, and welcome. Do all these infrastructures going up in flames in the US match the list of sensitive targets POTUS begged Russians to not touch? Thanks. I didn't even know that POTUS was asking Russia not to touch any infrastructure. I mean, almost all of our infrastructure really is in shambles. I did a report, I don't know, it was maybe close to a year ago, I think, that I included a report on a video that I posted about how many bridges in the US needed fixing. A lot. It's like in the thousands that are like in really, really bad shape. And that's just bridges. And then I think in that video, I included the number of dams that we have in the US that are in terrible shape that need fixing. But that's okay, ladies and gentlemen, because we can afford to send billions, if not hundreds of billions of dollars to countries abroad while our bridges are rotting and while our dams are decaying and deteriorating with time. It's all right. But there's a lot of stuff that we need to get fixed. And I mean, I honestly can't see how difficult it would be for another or for someone who doesn't like us to come in and destroy these things. I believe that the main thing that is saving the United States and the main thing that will save the United States from any foreign invasion is that we have a, I won't even say a very strong military, but we have a very strong Air Force and Navy, number one, and we do have nuclear capabilities as well. So we have a pretty good deterrent when it comes to our military. Thank you, Wendy. You're very kind. Captain Carl made it back. How you doing, Captain Carol? Good to see you again. No velo. I don't pressure can liver, and I never will. Liver is one of those things I can eat it if I'm hungry enough, but hopefully I'm never that hungry. And some people just love it. But if it's your thing, then go for it. I don't see what I would think that liver being as dense as it is, I would think that if you pressure can it, it will get even more dense and like like rubbery. But give it a try. Next time that you're gonna pressure can something, save one spot and put some liver in there and see what happens. You never know. It might be great. Well, I mean, Hidden Creek 2023 to me looks like more of the same, but just worse. So more inflation, but just worse, a lot worse. More food shortages, but worse. A lot worse. I'm putting out a video. I think it's for Sunday morning that I'm putting this video out about food banks, and it's not looking good. Right? Jay, my canned brisket that I've pressure canned before, I don't even season it. I just put a little bit of salt in it. I cold pack it, number one. Right, it's cold packed brisket, and it's just cut in like cubes. I put a little salt, I pressure can it. Then when I bring it back out, I go ahead and air fry it. All right, I air fry it, and with a little bit of salt, and that's it. It comes out so darn good. It is delicious. I put a video up like that a while back. I just look for brisket. Type in the word brisket in my channel page where it's got all my videos, and it should come up. It comes out so darn good. I brought some of that over to Billy and D's ones from Frontier Preppers, and I brought over a can and we put it in their air fryer, and now they have that all the time. Gracious 48, really, whichever one you prefer. I prefer the ones with more fat. It's got more flavor, all right? And you can always take some of the fat out if you don't want it. But I prefer the ones with more fat. Gives it more flavor. It gives it more protection on the top there, so you don't get that meat on the top there drying out. But really, whichever one you prefer will work better. Will work just as good, either or. Thank you, OO. How can I look up my generator? How can I lock up my generator in an SHTF situation? Chain and a lock, and around a post somewhere. OO is what I would say. During an SHTF situation, I plan on having guard 24 hours a day. So there's going to be someone, roving around 24 hours a day, keeping watch on the property. So, I won't really be too worried about locking up too many things. But if you're on your own or if you don't have that capacity, then, put a post in there or put it next to a post and put a chain with a nice thick chain with a good lock on it. All right. I mean, more than Conquerors ask, is the stock market going to crash before the end of the year? The thing is that, in my opinion, it's not the stock market that you really want to look at. Right? The stock market is just a casino. It is a casino where, unfortunately, those of you that have pensions or that are vested in 401ks or IRAs that are vested in the stock market, those of you are going to lose your paper wealth. But what you really want to look at, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, is going to be the bond market. The 10-year bond, the 30-year bond, especially the 10-year bond. If we ever see, because the thing is, the bond market, ladies and gentlemen, is a lot bigger than the stock market in nominal value. The bond market is like 4 or 5 times bigger than the stock market. So when the bond market goes, everything else is going to go. Everything. And what I mean by goes, if we ever see a day where like the 10-year bond, I think right now it's at like 2.97 or something like that. I did a video a long time ago. I think this was maybe more than 2 years ago, where I explained to people that once the 10-year goes above 225, 2.25, in my opinion, it's the point of no return, meaning that it's not going to go back under 2.25. And if we ever see that 10-year bond just shoot straight up, just like really go high in one day, then that's it. That is it. That is a sign that you need to go get everything that you need to get. Because once that 10-year loses control, or once the Federal Reserve loses control of that 10-year, it's over, right? It's over for the dollar. However, the Federal Reserve can still pull a few tricks with that 10-year. They can still, once other countries stop buying that 10-year, right? Once they stop buying bonds, guess what's going to happen? The government is going to say, okay, every pension, every 401k in the country is going to have X percentage of whatever they have to have that in treasuries. And they're going to make people by law buy into US government bonds. All right, ladies, that's what's going to happen, right? Because these guys that have a pen up there in the Capitol Hill, that little pen, that can do a lot of harm. And they've been doing a lot of harm with exactly that pen. They're going to try to find any way possible to keep the value of the dollar up by making we the people buy into those bonds with our retirements. It's almost like a bail-in. right? It's almost like a bail-in. Whenever a bank bails you in, all right, whenever they bail you in, they don't take your money. First of all, it's not technically your money anymore. You are a creditor to the bank when you deposit it, but they don't take it. They exchange the money that you have in your account with stock in that bank. So what would happen with the bond market is whenever it loses control, the government can come out and say, yeah, or before it even loses control, they can come out and say, yeah, all 401ks, you have to have 40% of whatever you have in 401ks, it has to be in government bonds. And that's almost like a bail-in because they're taking your money from that account, replacing it with government bonds, and then you're left with that government bond. So what happens if it crashes? You lose it. All right, so I think it's the bond market that we really have to look out for. I don't play in the stock market because I think it's 100% manipulated. And when it goes, I think it's going to go very quickly. That's what I think. Village Homestead, thank you. Hoop houses on your raised bed gardens are a great way to get two extra. I'm going to do that. That's one of the things I'm going to do, and they're very easy to do. All you need is some PVC piping with some visqueen, all right, on each end of your growing season. Also, stockpile fertilizer and supplies. Yes. Yep. Hoop houses, one of the things that I'm going to do. They're not going to be huge. They're just going to be little, right over the raised bed, like you said, Village. Okay. Yeah, there it is, Passionate Herbs. I knew somebody would know it. I knew someone would know it. The Encyclopedia of Country Living, right? Yes. That is an awesome, awesome book. I bought mine, man. I want to say it was one of the first things that I bought too when I started prepping. Maybe a year or two into prepping, I bought that book and I still have it. Obviously, I'm not going to get rid of it. All right, let's see. Let's start bringing it down. Well, Be Charming asks, you're in Alaska, go local for seafood. The thing is that I'm not really local to the coast. I'm probably about a good 400 miles, 450 miles from the coast. Actually, my wife and I just booked a fishing trip for this summer. We're gonna go halibut fishing, so I can't wait for that because I love halibut. So, but it's gonna be a 10-hour trip just to get there. But yep, we booked it today, and we're gonna go halibut fishing during our big week, during my birth week. Let's see. Han, how you doing, Han? How you doing, Miss Bella? I have been prepping clothes, jeans, but they have been really poor quality. Three pairs ripped within 2 months. What brands would you recommend? The funny thing is that I love the cheap jeans. Uh, do you all remember the Faded Glory cheap jeans at Walmart? I used to love those jeans. I used to get them all the time. They lasted me years. They lasted me years. I think right now I'm wearing some Lee's or Levi's, and those are pretty good quality. The ones that I have on now, I've had these for years, and they're pretty much faded away already, and they're starting to rip. But I had them for years, and they're still in good shape. All right, we have to go ahead and bring it down, ladies and gentlemen. Where we at? Wow, there's so many of you here today. I truly do appreciate you hanging out today. Thank you for joining in. Yes, this is a great tip, Zoe. Zoe says, look for used everything, buy used and see the difference, or use the difference to go out and prep some food. Absolutely. Well, Viv, it depends on what you're pressure canning, or for me, it depends on what I'm pressure canning and what I'm going to want to use it for. I really like cold packed chicken breast, and I really like cold packed beef. Those two, I love them cold pack, but I also like hot packed chicken, right? I also like hot packed turkey. I rather hot pack my turkeys than cold pack it, because if for some reason this year we can't find any turkeys for Thanksgiving, I can take some of my hot packed turkeys that I've had from a couple of years back and cook it up with our regular Thanksgiving dinner, and it'll taste just like and have the same texture as turkey that you roasted in the oven. So it just depends on what you're using it for. What's my favorite method? My favorite method is the easiest method, which is cold packing. Cold packing is so easy and simple to do that anybody can do it. Good night, Gigi. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start saying good night because I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit. Thank you, me too, and yes, thank you very much to all of our moderators. Well, Reynolds, when the petrodollar is declared officially dead, we're going to have super high inflation here in the United States. I mean, imports are going to be very, very expensive. The days of cheap Chinese goods, I think, are coming to an end. And the day of cheap imports and us exporting inflation while importing real things is going to come to an end sooner or later. So when I say prepare, I don't just mean prepare food, I mean prepare everything. Just Bitcoin, I think that Bitcoin is going to be around for a very long time. Governments will continue to try to fight Bitcoin because they know that it cannot be duplicated like they can duplicate fiat currency. All right. A lot of people don't understand Bitcoin. I want to say that I understand it pretty well, or well enough to know that it is actually a good thing for humanity. If you gave me a choice between having Bitcoin as the world's money or having the dollar as the world's money, I would take Bitcoin every day of the week. And for those people that say, well, what if we have an EMP or a coronal mass ejection? If we had an EMP or coronal mass ejection or grid outage that lasted for years or even over a year, money of any kind and or form would be the last thing that you would be worried about. I would say that you would be worried about having your preps, having food, water, shelter, self-defense. But I think that Bitcoin is going to be around for a very long time, and governments will continue to fight it. They cannot fight Bitcoin directly because there is no Bitcoin headquarters, which is what's great about it. But what they can do is that they can fight the on and off ramp systems that you use in order to get it or to trade it. But I think it'll be around for a very long time. I really like using Bitcoin right now as a speculative deal. I've done pretty good with Bitcoin, and I've gotten a lot of preps because of the Bitcoin that I've traded in for fiat currency. So, how you doing, Jacqueline? Good to see you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring this down. All right, if I missed your question, I apologize, but I'm going to bring this down. We're at a little over an hour and a half, and I think that we've had a very good time. Let's see. Even a caveman can cold pack. There you go. That's why I love it. It's so easy. Thank you, and yes, cold packing, pressure canning method is the easiest that there is. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've never pressure canned and you're afraid of doing it, I just put up a pressure canning video not too long ago where I did the cold pack method with hamburger, and it came out just fine. And it is so easy to do. Give it a try because you're gonna love the way that the meat tastes. I'm pretty sure, but only do it if you can pressure can meats that make sense. So, for example, if you can find canned chicken, for example, for $1 a can, and you're gonna have to pay $3 a pound or whatever. Pretty much, let me say it this way: if it makes financial sense for you to pressure can it yourself, then do it. If it makes financial sense for you to just buy it already canned, then do that. All right, because it's already been done for you. You don't have to expend the energy and or time to do it when you can get it cheaper elsewhere and have the same results long term. A beautiful day. Thank you. Hi, Rudy. How long do jarred foods last beyond the expiration date? not things I have canned, but sauces and juice, etc. A beautiful day. I'm going to say it in one word, and then I'm going to refer you to my previous video from about 3 or 4 days ago. Indefinitely. All right, indefinitely. But, and then I'll go ahead and let you watch that video to answer the but, because the answer would be multifaceted. I put up a video here a few days ago, something about the USDA states that canned foods will last indefinitely. And this is coming from the USDA. And on that video that I put up, A Beautiful Day, on that video, I actually reference where I'm getting that information from. And I left links on a pinned comment that you can go visit so you can do your own research on it. But if you have your foods, your canned foods, or you even your pressure canned foods that you did yourself, if you did it properly and you stored it in a proper way, it will last indefinite. The question is will you lose any of the nutritional value in that, or will you lose any of the taste and or the texture in that? But how good will it be good to eat safely indefinitely, as long as you follow the simple instructions on how to store it, and or if there are cans, were compromised during the storage. Right? But watch that video. It's only like, I think, 12 or 14 minutes long, something like that. Okay, we are down to the bottom. Let me see. I'm going to get very last question that I passed up here. Okay, that's not a question. All right. That was answering someone else's comments. Low blood pressure. How you doing? Low blood pressure. I know you don't like Bitcoin. I know you don't like it. I know you don't. But no, Bitcoin cannot be duplicated, even if they fork it. Bitcoin, you just have to really research it. All right. I'm not going to give a lesson on it. Bitcoin, there can only be 21 million. I think it's actually a little less than 21 million created forever. No more than 21 million ever. And when I say created, I mean mined. And what I mean mined is a computer actually using energy to go out there and solve mathematical problems that reward the winner who solved that problem first with Satoshis. And Satoshis are pieces of Bitcoins. All right. And every single piece of Bitcoin that's out there has a private key, meaning that it is unique to itself, that algorithm that makes up that piece of that Bitcoin cannot be duplicated, because the work in order to make it, to mine it, has already been done. Right. And I know there's a lot to it. There's just really a lot to it. That's why I don't talk about it that much. All right. But no, Bitcoin cannot be duplicated as far as Bitcoin. Now, all those other coins under Bitcoin, the other 15,000 or so of those, I only advocate for like maybe three other ones, 3 or 4 others that I do have some of, but that's pretty much it. And they're all in the top 5, I believe, top 5 or 6. Right. But yeah, I mean, and it's okay not to like Bitcoin. It's okay. I think that Bitcoin and gold and silver complement each other very well. They complement each other very well for different reasons, right? For different reasons. But we're not going to get into that, ladies and gentlemen, because literally I would be here for another half hour just talking about that one topic right there. But I do like to say that it is nice to be diversified. It's okay to be diversified in everything. All right. All right. Having said that, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, so much. I hope you all had a great week, and thank you for joining in. Had a great time. And guess what? We're going to be back on Sunday at 9 a.m. Alaska time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. And let me go ahead and throw out there the safety speech, right? Safety speech of the week. Go out there and have a great time this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. But be adults. Make sure that if you're going to drink, don't drive. And if you want to have a great time, go ahead and have yourself a drink, but just have somebody to drive you home. That way you don't do something that's going to cost you the rest of your life sitting in a little 8x8 jail cell, okay? Because we want to see you back on Sunday. So be safe. Thank you very much for joining in today. I truly do appreciate you all stopping by for a little bit. Hey, Billy Bob, how you doing? All right, so having said that, remember to be good to each other. Thank you very much for our moderators. You know that I love you, ladies. So thank you very much. I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you all on Sunday. All right. So remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to every one of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out. Bless you guys. Have a great weekend.